You know, when we think of somebody that's flexible, we might think of somebody who can touch their toes, or somebody that can do the splits or do back bends. And that's a certain kind of flexibility. We can also think of someone who is flexible as someone that just can go with the flow, right? They're very adaptable to different situations. They're not all tense and concerned when things change. So flexibility can have different meanings. And actually, Tai Chi is very good at helping anyone with both kinds of flexibility. And the first part of the form is actually very well suited to focus on that flexibility. When you think about the physical side of the flexibility, Tai Chi helps us relax. It helps us open our joints. We learn to move in a way that our body is utilizing itself in the best way possible, which is actually a lot of what flexibility is. So let's think about just that physical side first. But let's start by doing some Chi walking first. So I'm going to come over here and I want you to warm up with me of doing your Chi walking. Think about letting your body relax, letting those shoulders fall away from the earlobes. Feel that weight shift, rocking forward, rocking back, almost like it's water flowing, right? Think about how you can only lift this back leg when it's completely empty, and then how easy it is to move. Think about how flexible your body might feel if you were completely underwater. Well, maybe not all your body. Maybe your head's above water. I would not be very flexible if my head was underwater. I'd be very tense. Just let your body relax. Let it float as if you are in water and you can still breathe. One more step. So that continuous motion that we practice with the Chi walking is part of the relaxation of Tai Chi. Let's do the first part of the form and talk about how it also helps you with opening up your joints and helping you relax. So standing nice and tall, take a good deep breath in. Breathe it out, sinking down, and open. Preparation, thinking about just letting those arms float and coming back down. Now holding that ball, as you turn, that rotation helps your body open up into your part the wild horse's mane. We don't turn and then use our arms to open up. As we turn, that rotation opens up our body. So those underlying principles, if we're applying them properly, are helping our body relax, open up using that rotation. One more, part the wild horse's mane. And now stepping up, letting the arms just float out into white crane spreads its wings. Using that rotation again to do your arm circles, and now brush knee. Again, that rotation helps you not use your arms, not tense up your arms. This rotation just allows the hands to fall right into the place they're supposed to be. One more, brush knee. And now stepping up, play the guitar. Keep those hands nice and loose, delicate lady's wrist. And then floating backwards with your repulse the monkey. This is where keeping your columns intact, keeping that posture good, where your shoulders are in harmony with your hips, that helps your body relax as you move backwards. That first part of the form with utilizing your rotation, utilizing your columns, your delicate lady's wrist. You also want to think about keeping yourself nice and rounded. Remember that ball of energy is very important in Tai Chi, and if we clamp ourselves down, that energy can't flow. Whereas if we're nice and rounded in our movements and in our joints, we can keep them open and keep that energy flowing. With part the wild horse's mane and with brush knee, both of them, think about if you're allowing yourself to be rounded, that's open. This is very tight, and it might look like I'm reaching farther and I'm more flexible, but that's not really the point. This is actually a more flexible movement. I can move my body in different ways if I keep myself flexible, open, and loose. So let's do that first part of the form again, but we've applied the rotation, we've applied the columns, thinking about that ball of energy. But now let's translate that chi walking into that first part of the form as well. Your substantial and insubstantial changes are very important in that first part of the form. Thinking about empty and full. Think about walking underwater and letting that substantial and insubstantial change just happen very naturally. So let's start just with preparation. Preparation, keeping yourself open and rounded. Holding that ball, the weight's on the right. Now, as we step, that weight comes a little bit forward onto the left, but then we're rocking back, just like we do in our chi walking. Bringing that weight up onto the left, and now part the wild horse's mane. This rocking back and forth, this idea of substantial and insubstantial changes really needs to happen throughout the whole form. White crane. But the first part of the form is really the easiest to help, especially beginners, learn that this continuous change of which side is full, which side is empty, they can practice with this rocking back and forth as we do the first part of the form. Play the guitar, focusing on that empty leg because it's the one that moves. Bringing that weight all the way back to the back leg so that this front leg can move. One more, pulse the monkey. So the substantial and insubstantial changes, which we know are important in Tai Chi, we should always know where our weight is. We need to know which side is full, letting that empty side be nice and relaxed and loose. It helps us with our balance, which again helps us be more relaxed. So practicing those substantial and insubstantial changes is very important, especially for beginners. And if we think about that first part of the form, it's really only 3 movements that you need to teach beginners. You need to teach them part the wild horse's mane, you need to teach them brush knee, and you need to teach repulse the monkey. The other movements are very simple, they're very transitional, and that helps beginners with being able to focus on that substantial and insubstantial change again. Think about the beginning part of the form again. Let's do it this way one more time. Not only thinking about that physical opening up and allowing yourself to be relaxed, becoming more flexible in your body, but now think about being more flexible, being more adaptable to the changes that are happening. Taking a nice deep breath in. Taking a deep breath as you hold that ball and step out into your part the wild horse's mane. Now the changes that are happening here are that substantial and insubstantial. Thinking about keeping that rotation going. Feeling which foot is full, which foot is empty. As you bring your weight up onto that left to do your white crane spreads its wings. And now that left foot is empty. Rotation into your arm circles, then stepping out into your brush knee. Feel the change in your weight. Feel that chi walking. Stepping up into your play the guitar. Repulsing the monkey, that weight has to come back. And then it switches, allowing that front leg to become completely empty. And one more. Now thinking about that adaptability, remember the being flexible, being able to go with the flow, you're able to apply different principles and be okay with it. You're able to change, changing requirements don't make you all tense. So that's part of what Tai Chi is helping you with, because you're having to multitask, do your movements, and yet figure out your underlying principles as well. Going back to beginners, thinking about that beginning part of the form, where I said you really only need to teach them 3 movements. It helps them learn to become more adaptable as they're learning to flow and bring these movements together into a flow, because they do repeat those movements. You do 3 part the wild horse's mane, you do 3 brush knee, you do 4 repulse the monkey. So that helps because they're repeating, they're not just doing something different. So they can focus on those underlying principles. But you can also adapt the form by doing it in a different direction, which again helps beginners, because if you have mirrors like I do, you can actually do the first part of the form going forward. Normally, if this is north, we turn to do that first movement, correct? We would actually be turning to the west, right? If this is north, this is our first movement. But you don't have to do that. You can actually do your form going north to south. And it's great, especially if you have mirrors like this. Think about preparation. Now holding that ball to the right. Now just go forward with part the wild horse's mane. Now you can really focus on your substantial and insubstantial changes. Part the wild horse's mane. One more, part the wild horse's mane. Then step that right foot up, bring the weight to the right. Tap that left foot, bring the right hand up and the left hand down. White crane spreads its wings. Bringing that right arm down, then the left arm follows and it comes over to the right to hold the ball and brush knee. Walking back just like we do with Chi walking, letting that back leg become completely empty, brush knee, rocking back, bring the weight onto that right, brush knee. Now stepping that right foot up, bring the weight to the right, tap that left toe. It's an empty leg, it's insubstantial. This is play the guitar. Now repulse the monkey. Step back with that empty leg. Bring the weight all the way to the left now. Let the right leg become empty and step back. Repulse the monkey. Again, stepping back. And one more. Good, now you totally did that movement forward and backward, which again, if you have the mirrors, that helps your students because they are behind you, they can see you, and it's a much easier movement going forward and back like that, allowing them to start to really focus on what's important, the substantial and insubstantial changes, thinking about the rotation, allowing them to relax into those movements. That helps them start to flow instead of having separate movements. Let's do it this way one more time. Start with preparation. And now think about water flowing. Try to keep that movement going as you apply that idea of Chi walking to your part the wild horse's mane. Keep your movement flowing, just like water. Don't stop at the end of the movement. Think about how that weight shift helps you come forward into your white crane spreads its wings. And then that rotation helps you keep that movement going as you grab that ball of energy on the right and step out into your brush knee. Using that idea of substantial and insubstantial again, your Chi walking, keeping your movement flowing. We don't have separate movements in Tai Chi. They all flow together, coming into your play the guitar. This right hand just drops and flows right into repulse the monkey. Use that weight shift to keep you going. One more, repulse the monkey. So going with the flow, being flexible in terms of your body opening up, allowing that energy to flow, relaxing, being able to move with ease, being able to adapt to changing requirements. Those changing requirements might be, where is my weight as it shifts? The changing requirements of thinking of different principles as you're doing the form. Thinking of the rotation, of your columns, of that ball of energy, of your substantial and insubstantial. All of this is helping you be more flexible, both in body and in mind.